Hi, and welcome back to session number 5 of our small group series, Who is Jesus? And through this small group series, we've been taking a look at a few of the events in the life of Jesus. And we're doing this to get a bigger, fuller image of who Jesus is. See, Jesus revealed himself not only through the things that he said, through his teachings, but also through the things that he did. And when we combine both, we get a better image of who Jesus really is. And as followers of Jesus, we want to follow Jesus for who he truly is. In this passage, in this event that you just finished reading in Matthew chapter 16, Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 18, we find Jesus taking his disciples away from the crowds. They've been in the crowds and they've been tired, and Jesus takes them out to the region of Caesarea Philippi. And he asked them this question: who do people say I am? All these crowds, they're coming out to see me for some reason. Who are they saying that I am? The response that the disciples gave was, well, they're saying that you're Isaiah or one of the other prophets, or some say you're John the Baptist. See, Jesus and the things that he said, the way that he said them, and the things that he did was radically different from the other religious leaders of the day and how they taught and the things that they did. You know, the way Jesus was acting called to mind their image of what Old Testament prophets were like. So he must be a prophet like them. The closest contemporary example that they had of what Jesus was doing is John the Baptist. So he must be like John the Baptist. And then Jesus asked them a very important question. It's really a question that we have to answer ourselves today. Well, who do you say I am? Who is Jesus? The Apostle Peter, the spokesman of the group, speaks up and says, well, you are the Christ. You're the Messiah. You are the Son of the living God. What Jesus says next is very important for us to hear. He praises Peter for his answer. He says upon Peter and his faith and his answer, he's going to build his church. Peter's the rock. And then Jesus says, this truth did not come to you by man. It wasn't something that you just reasoned out. No, you believe this, you know this to be the case because God's Spirit has revealed it to you. The only way that we will fully become convinced that Jesus is the Messiah, the Christ, is when the Holy Spirit reveals that information to us and we hold on to it. The reality is that we can take all this information we have about Jesus and we can explain it away. We can say, well, Jesus is a good teacher. Jesus is this. Jesus is that. Jesus is just another prophet. But for us to truly hold on and to believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Holy Spirit has to be working in our hearts. So who is Jesus? Well, Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God. He is the one that we have been waiting for. He's the one that we put all our hopes in, that he will come and he will restore creation and make things right again. We can only believe that when the Holy Spirit convicts us and teaches us that truth. So here is the thing I want you to think about tonight. How do you know Jesus is the Christ? What convinced you that, yeah, Jesus is who he says he is? Yes, Jesus is truly the Son of God. Yes, Jesus is the person I can put my faith in. He is the one who came to save me from my sins. So I hope you have a good time discussing these next few minutes. that it will be a time that you can encourage one another. But I also hope in this time that you're able to share a little bit of your story, a little bit of your testimony on how you came to know Jesus. So have a good time of discussion, have a good time of prayer, and I'll see you back here next week. God bless.